Welcome to the Dawg and Gus Show, now on Feel It Radio.
What's up, doggy?
Doggy.
I like calling you dog or doggy.
Okay.
Whatever
Gus.
you don't like, I will prefer to call you that.
Right. I'm not going to tell you
What's up, dog?
What, Gus? Yeah. Good to see you again.
Yeah, what's going on today? We
got a pretty exciting guest in here today.
Yeah, well-dressed guest.
Well, he's our sharp-dressed man.
I have to
yes.
say, yeah.
Yes.
I think that's part of his panache, right? Like you see his, you like that?
Yes.
You see his Spotify page, and when you read about this guy, and you see he's in the slick hat, and he looks really good.
Yeah, I do like his hat.
So Almyr Jules.
Yes.
Yeah. And we were having a little fun discussion about your name prior to going on live here.
It's not Almyr, folks.
No, it's spelled Almyr, as is when I asked if you just sort of switched the Y out just to kind of mess with people in Elmer,
No, never.
Never.
No, it happens all the time. People will be like, "Oh, your name's," like they look at it, Elmer? I'm like, no, I'm not a city.
Would you like to play there?
Exactly. I'm Almyr from Elmer. Like,
please welcome to the stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Almyr from Elmer.
Oh man, what a bad handle that would be. Unfortunately,
oh, it'd be horrible.
Yeah. So get into it. Like you're an Ottawa native. You sort of decided that when did you start playing music? What was your first?
Well, I'm actually correct. I'm not an Ottawa native.
Oh, no?
I moved here from Calgary, Alberta, about like 7 years ago.
Okay.
I know people wish I was in Ottawa, but I was born in Montreal, and then we moved to Alberta. Alberta's where I started learning music. I started my first song I wrote because a girl broke my heart, and it was must write about it, and that's the only way I can have an outlet. And then I started pursuing music when I moved here.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to Live on Elgin. I think it was the first place I went to go sing live.
Nice.
And I moved to Ottawa,
Nice.
and then met a bunch of people, and then started actually pushing through it, and actually start pursuing it as some sort of a career.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to just having it as a hobby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because Calgary was a hobby. It was just trying to impress women. That's it. That's the whole point.
I don't know.
And how did you do?
Yeah. Oh yeah, great sometimes.
I have a whole bunch of songs about it.
Yes, exactly. He just pulled the guitar out, man.
That's it. Well, that's
worked out.
I think girls like that.
Yeah.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the same as pulling out a CD and going, I'm a DJ.
I'm a
big deal.
Yeah.
Who cares? Can you play me a song?
Exactly.
Pull out your laptop.
Yeah, pull out my
back in the
laptop,
day.
find a song for him and stuff. Cool. So, speaking of meeting friends, is this where you met the boys from Mecca of Stank?
No, actually, so Mecca of Stank, the funny part about that is, so their keyboardist is my keyboardist.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So Omar plays for me and my band. But I heard of the band when Omar showed up, but I was like, I don't know who this is. And then I didn't actually go out and search them up yet.
Right.
And then I was talking to Rainbow, because we did a show for Rainbow. We were opening for a guy named Riley.
I saw that.
Yeah. And so we were opening for that. And then Rainbow was like, we want to have you back in. We want to do a show. So we were talking about it, and they were like, we have Mecca of Stank. And I remember bringing it up to the band, and I was like, yo, so Mecca of Stank wants to do a show with us. And Omar started laughing. And I was like, why are you laughing? And he's like, I'm that's my band. And I was like, oh, that's your band.
Oops.
What? And then, so I started learning from them. And then I met the guy who runs it, and then just kind of just talked from there. And so I just recently figured out who they actually were.
Nice.
So
yeah, well, they were Mark was our first guest, that first person we ever spoke to that was a musician.
Yeah.
He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
Very energetic.
Yep.
Yeah, to say the least. Yeah. And passionate.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Even we were discussing hip hop, and he just got right into it.
Yep.
And I love that.
Yeah, well, and funk and
he's got a very diverse
he loves disco,
palette.
he loves funk, he loves soul. He's just like a well-rounded.
Although we all do, though. We like that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but
sure
we don't
Almyr
play
does
guitars
too.
and we're not in the band.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, I play a guitar, but it's not band worthy.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I just don't.
That's fair.
So, an interesting question here. Just what do people misunderstand about you the most?
Besides your name,
That I'm not a rapper.
right?
That literally is a thing. It's the weirdest thing. I'll be like, I'm in music. Are you a rapper? No. And then it's just because I fall into, in my opinion, I fall into the category of pop funk. It's it's pop genre, but a little bit more dancey, a little bit more funky in a sense. But I'm always put in the R&B or rap genre just because the way I look, just because everything happens. And then they don't even, if you don't listen to the music, you automatically assume this guy's a well-dressed rapper. Like it's just really weird. As the misconception.
That is so weird.
It's weird. It's like,
It is, but I mean, listening to your songs and stuff, I can see the soul and R&B.
yeah, sure.
I can see that.
Sure. Yeah.
It's totally chill music,
Mhm.
in a great way, and it's like you kind of diverse, and there's a lot of different things going on in the actual song, and great guitar riffs, and very smooth, very smooth. Yeah. I like the Levels album.
Thank you. That album was funny because the album, like the idea of the album was I wrote it for the idea was like every song explained a different part of a relationship. So going from so that's why it's called Levels. It's like different levels of the relationship. It goes from very nice to horrible and everything in between. Yeah. And so that was, I remember when I was writing it, I was starting to realize that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is sick. So I started writing it like that. So the very first song is like the I love you, I will never leave you, you'll never be alone song. And then the last is like, it all ended because of you, not because of me kind of idea. And it's just and it's just cool.
Yeah, no, it is very cool. It kind of plays we were gonna probably ask you where the name Levels came from.
I was going to. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, no. We appreciate you letting us know exactly what it was.
One last question to ask,
and that's it.
And we're done.
Guys.
Thank you. Now, Gus sent me the little blurb you have on is it Facebook or is it Instagram? The one that compares him to Spotify. Sorry, to Shawn Mendes.
Oh yeah.
Now I have another. With the song "Take a Little Time," I get Jack Johnson. Do you know who he is?
Yes, I know Jack Johnson. I love Jack Johnson.
Just the musicality of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
nice, Dave.
Thank you. I was just like, wow, that's kind of Jack Johnson-ish, which is cool because Jack Johnson's amazing.
It's amazing, yeah.
And every song is different, so it's kind of like, okay, so now you've changed it up.
Yeah.
I can't figure you out, man, because you've just changed it up on me. No, it's awesome. It's so good.
Yeah. Jack Johnson's a pretty cool guy too.
Yep. Yeah, environmentalist and naturalist.
Like a surfer who was playing guitar on the beach and then wrote albums.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
he's like 6'5" too.
Yeah.
It's funny because one of my favorite Jack. No, this is a different one. I'm talking about Jason Mraz. Jack Johnson. Yeah,
like
still,
him too.
That was the other one.
Yeah, both of them is still the same. They're all the same. but no. But Jack Johnson, like I remember because when I started learning guitar. I had a friend of mine named Quality. He was like the guitar guru, getting all the girls. And I was like, I'm going to be like you. And he was listening to Jack Johnson like all the time. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was like try to learn Jack Johnson songs to be like him. And then I switched to like Beatles and then started switching to other stuff.
Well,
and then just kind of switched from there.
Well, there's from Jack Johnson to the Beatles.
I know.
You're not doing anything wrong, man.
No.
Not at all.
I was listening to Beatles yesterday.
Were you?
Oh,
yesterday?
Yeah. I'm not going to do it. But I did the girls were like hanging out and I always sang Here Comes the Sun before they were born. And then, we just decided to throw on some Beatles. I was like, yeah, it was great. Yeah. It's funny how, they are, so amazing.
Yeah,
honestly.
They transcend, right? Like they're still relevant today.
Even today, like even when people don't, like kids who don't grow up in the era of I feel like I grew up in the end of era of Beatles because like Michael Jackson, Prince, everyone was so massive that like Beatles were massive. But when I was growing up listening to music, it was like Michael Jackson was a top dog and Prince I think recently died or something like that. And then it was like he was a top dog. Like, there was a lot of stuff, but I didn't grow up listening to Beatles like my parents did. But I searched it right, and like my dad was a huge ABBA fan.
Really,
and like huge. It was weird. The weirdest thing for me because my dad is like. Doesn't look like a person who would listen to ABBA at all. But he's like a huge ABBA fan. And my dad's the reason why I started pulling more into like older music was because like ABBA's fantastic. And so for me it's just like what are other musics like this? And then you start jumping into more and like I just
and this is where we don't like Spotify for certain reasons, but for other reasons it's great.
Right.
And this is one of those reasons.
Yeah.
You can go in.
I just love music because it doesn't matter what you look like, who you are, whatever. You like what you like, and that's it.
Yep.
And
I love it.
I love music. There's reasons for it, right? Like you said, like he grew up listening to that. It's the same why we listen to what we listen to, or we don't listen
to. Which I
listen
to everything he just said.
So do I.
So do I. Like you know how I feel about Prince. Like that's my my goat.
That's your goat. Yeah, fair enough.
Like it's an obsession. I love the color purple.
Yeah.
It's only simply I just love that dude.
That's awesome.
He's a very talented individual.
Pretty good guitarist.
Yeah, he was all right.
But what was it you that was telling me like Clapton said like what's it like being the best guitarist of all time?
And he said ask Prince.
Yeah, I don't know, ask Prince.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was a quote from
from Clapton.
That's a huge statement.
Right? Like I mean to me Hendrix is the greatest of all time, but we won't get into that. But Prince is still pretty sick on the
Oh yeah.
Anyways, we could go on and on about Prince.
We could.
Yeah.
Well, we're here to talk about Al.
Thank you.
Can I call you Al?
Yeah. No, most people
You can call me Al.
Yeah, I knew you would. I knew you'd do it.
You knew I'd do that.
So in Ottawa, like, you know, of venues that you kind of play, obviously you said you played on Live on Elgin first. So that's probably got a nice feel
it's a soft
to you.
spot to me, yeah.
Favorite venue?
Oh.
It doesn't have to be Ottawa, by the way. It could be anywhere.
Well, no, because I've played like in Montreal and Toronto and stuff, but honestly, I think my favorite venue, at least right now, before it wasn't because of the way it sounded, but Rainbow is one of my favorite venues now.
Yeah.
Just because like when the renovation happened, like before the renovation, it was like I couldn't really hear myself. It was kind of like off, but I was like, it was just cool. It was a sick venue. You have 2 levels. Yeah. Like you're like in between on stage, so both can see you clearly. It was well designed. It just didn't sound great until the renovation. When I did that show, I was like, yo, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And it became, and it honestly is one of my favorite venues to play at because of everything now. The sound sounds great. The stage is still the same. 2 levels of people can see you, and you can fill both. And it's just, you feel like you're a superstar playing on the Rainbow, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah,
it's a cool venue.
It is a cool.
I need to get back. I haven't seen it. I haven't been since the renovation.
It's nice.
It used to be the favorite place to go because they used to do reggae nights on Thursday night, and I used to love going there for drinks and chilling out. It was like a great venue and live music, obviously. But but interesting that you say that because you would obviously know how you sound.
Yeah, exactly.
And you sound great, but to you don't know if you sound great, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
And now that they've done some work, it's better.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. Like Matt was there. He said it was awesome. Matt from Monkey Jump.
Yep,
They've played there a bunch of times, and he loves the Renos there.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's good that they did that because it was sad because I was hoping we didn't lose it because there was a point in time we might have.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, it's like the whole Barrymore thing I keep going back to. I would love to revive that joint, you know.
Yep, we win money. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Did Mavericks close down?
Nope.
No, Mavericks is still here.
No. I just saw a post from Mavericks yesterday.
Yeah, they're reopening, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
because that was another venue I really liked playing at.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Was Mavericks.
Cool. How did you get J.W. Jones to play with you?
J.W. Jones. Funny part is though, out of all of the tracks that we did, we never met each other in person. I did photo shoots with Sean Sisk, and one of my photo shoots got on Faces Magazine.
Okay.
Because they just liked the look, and they were like, let's do an interview, and they gave me like 15 questions, and apparently J.W. Jones was going through the magazine and then saw a picture of me and was like, this guy looks sick. And then so searched me up on Instagram and then was listening to music, and he was like, this is sick. So he messaged me on Instagram like, I want to add guitar to some of your tracks. And I was like, I know who he was because he's Juno and Nam. I was like, no way J.W. Jones is messaging me right now. And then so we went back and forth, and I sent him, the first track I sent him was Never Be Alone. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this is one track I'm like finishing up in a sense. It's kind of this feel. And then he jumped on Levels as well for the intro.
And the outro, I would
and
imagine.
The outro, the outro, and it was just it was surreal. Like it was cool to have him because he was like, send me the track, I'll just doodle whatever, and then he just sends me like the guitar riffs, and I throw it in there, and then we mix it. It was so good, and I was like, So the first time we met each other face to face, we went to go do a photo shoot together for the album promo and all that stuff. And there's one suit with me in a gray, and he's in a gray, and I'm in a black, whatever. And that was the first time we met.
Oh, is that right?
After like 6 months of communication, like it was like
crazy. I would imagine that was because somewhat of the pandemic, but also probably schedules.
Well, yeah, it was mostly pandemic, mostly because everything was like closed and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know that he was a little cautious when it came to the pandemic as well. And also, yeah, he's busy. He's literally touring all the time. So it's just like, but I heard about him the first time I showed up in Ottawa and started playing. I heard about J.W. Jones, this Ottawa guy who's touring everything, and I was like, I knew everything about him. Yeah. And like to just randomly have a message from him, and be like, what the heck?
Yeah, exactly. Is this real?
You're not sure if you're being
pranked.
Yeah, exactly.
Botted.
Yeah, seriously. Mm-hmm. Well, I'd be like, oh yeah, J.W. Right, okay, hang up.
Yeah.
You know, oops, sorry, James.
Yeah, exactly.
J.W. Sorry.
No, but he's a fantastic dude. Yeah. Fantastic guy.
We're finding that out a lot about the people we're meeting in this.
Small community, man.
Yeah, and everybody's amazing, and they either know the person or know of the person.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Again, like that's kind of what we've found out, and we love that we're kind of getting our way into the community, right? We're
like
non-talented. We're like the unpopular people in the group, but we're getting there, bro.
We're getting there. Yeah
bro. Do you have a favorite childhood memory in music? Is that something that was kind of?
I don't think it's my favorite, but it's one of the only childhood memories. Is when because I grew up in church, and that's how I started singing was in church. And one time we were singing some church hymn, And I was in my head. So apparently I was singing louder than most kids were because I was just in my head in the song, and I was like, ah. And then the teacher was just like, stopped everyone. Who was like, you have a great voice. Can you sing this song solo in front of the class? And I was like, what? So I sang it in front of the class, and that's when I first learned that like I had a good voice as a kid. And then you just kind of at church you're always in choirs, and I went to every choir I possibly could to learn how to sing better. We did plays and all that stuff, and like it was singing plays, and that was just a thing. So that memory started music, at least singing for me.
Yeah.
And then everything else kind of fell into place after the fact.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you play instruments as well, right? So that kind of followed after the singing
after
started?
The singing, yeah. So I didn't know. My dad played guitar growing up, but never taught me once. I didn't even know until I started playing guitar that my dad knew how to play guitar. But it was like I started singing, and then I would always sing everywhere I can, but I never played a single instrument. Mm-hmm. Guitar was the first instrument I learned. I dabble on everything else, but I produce myself now. So like I play every instrument with a keyboard. That's what I tell people. I can play drums, I can play bass, I can play everything with a keyboard.
Yeah. Really? Well, I mean, when you're doing all your stuff on your own, right? Like it's.
Do you mean like when you're mixing it later, you do everything separately and then put it all together on the keyboard, or?
Well, no. Like when I produce, like I'll actually like create a drum patch on a thing, and I have like kick on one key and then whatever, and I'll just like produce music that way. So if I put a bass, like I use Logic when I create my music, so I can like do a Logic plugin like a VST and then just like play bass with the keyboard.
Okay.
And then the idea is I like to produce that way and then bring it to my band and kind of just be like, this is what I've created, and then we go to the studio and we make it real.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I'll produce a lot. Some tracks I'll produce on the fly, and if I like it enough, I don't even like change it. I'm just like, this is good. Like, I'm not doing that. But sometimes I'll go to my band and be like, yo, let's like develop this more to make it sound real, to make it sound like a full band playing.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yep.
It's an interesting, like you always love to hear about the creative process, and that's an interesting way to do it.
Well, I think Prince does that, except that he plays all the instruments.
Yeah.
He plays.
So does Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I understand.
And many others. David Byrne, too, I think did a lot of it, too.
I understand the concept, and sure. And now when you're doing that and you take a song to the band after you've done all this stuff, you're trusting these guys to play what you've written and what's come out of here, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have that bond with these guys to say, listen, guys, I wrote this song. This is what I want to know. This is what I want it to sound like.
Yeah.
And then they just go, doing it. We're done.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, there's a level of trust for their creativity as well. Because, like, for example, like out of all the band members, me and my bassist have been the longest together. Like ever since I moved here, me and my bassist have like always been together. And it's Mike Bercier, and he's like a fantastic bassist. And so for him, it's like I have full confidence to be like, this is my like simple bass line I've created. Like, make it better, make it funkier. You add your own spice to it. Because the thing I love about music is like, that's why I like groups so much. Is because it's not one person saying this is the music. It's everyone putting their own spice to the music to make it. That's why the Beatles are massive. That's why the Jonas Brothers became a thing so big. Was because it's just multiple heads being like, this is my personality, this is my personality, my personality, and then a beautiful song comes out, right? Like Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak both make amazing music. Silk Sonic is fantastic. Yeah, just because of the two styles thrown into one.
True. Right? It is a great album.
Yep.
Oh yeah, on repeat.
yeah. I actually met. Funny, I met Anderson .Paak in L.A.
That's awesome.
And so Megan, my partner, and I went to this thing called Hilarity for Charity, and it was Seth Rogen put on this thing for Alzheimer's.
Okay. Yeah.
And because his wife's mother has it,
right?
So he put up this like carnival in LA. So we made a trip out of it. So we spent the whole week, and then Saturday was like the second last night, and then we went to this event, and we basically met Seth Rogen and and then Tony Hawk's like doing the half pipe and stuff, and Anderson .Paak standing like by himself, wearing a velvet hat and like
of course
burgundy corduroy pants and a crazy Hawaiian shirt. I'll show you the picture later.
Yeah.
And honestly, like nobody's around him, and I'm like, that's Anderson .Paak. Like, I'm going to say hello to this guy, and Megan's like, I don't think it is. And I said, oh, that's him. Like, look at his outfit. He's wearing like crazy like white sunglasses too.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was like, Anderson, like, what are you doing, man? He's like, I'm watching Tony Hawk, man. And I was like, fair enough. Can we get a picture with you? He's like, yeah, man, yeah. He's obviously baked, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then he played after and just like blew the crowd away, right?
Amazing.
Like, yeah, it was such an amazing event. And,
Amazing.
Yeah, I'd go back. And that was 2019, and then, of course, 2020 hits,
Right,
and
right.
nobody does anything for 2 years.
No.
Anyway, sort of go off track.
No, that's not off track.
That's on track, actually.
That's on. That's on.
Fair
point,
enough.
baby.
Fair enough.
That's
I
on
appreciate
point.
it.
Well, like, last point about Anderson .Paak I love is like I started listening to Anderson .Paak because of Mac Miller, because he did a couple songs with Mac Miller, but he did one song specifically called "Dang" with Mac Miller.
Love that song.
That's how I learned who Anderson .Paak was.
Okay.
And then from then on, I was like, "Who's this guy?" I searched up. I listened to Jet Black, and then started listening to more and more and more. And I was like, "This guy's fantastic." But what I love,
sick.
no, he's amazing. What I love about him now is he's been Bruno Mars'd up like crazy, because like before you'd see Anderson .Paak, he'd be like behind the drums and he'd sing and he'd kind of just stay behind the drums the whole time, and he'd just do, because that's his thing. He's a drummer and a singer. But ever since Silk Sonic, if you watch his recent like live, he's like synchronized dancing with his dancing. He's just like, and I'm like, this just Showman came out. It was like, and I think just Bruno Mars ruined him in the greatest way possible, because now he can do that, get out, let someone else drum, and just entertain.
Yeah.
And I just love it.
So good.
Yeah, it's nice to come out from behind the kid every once in a while and just and have some fun.
Hey, Dawg, want some hot sauce for your tacos?
You brought your own hot sauce?
Damn right. Have you tried Gringo's Sizzling Nirvana? It'll change your life.
Nice. Are there other types of sauces?
Absolutely. There's different hot sauces for different palates, incredible barbecue sauces, red pepper jam, and salsa. All of them use fresh ingredients, and it can be delivered to your door.
Hey, how do we get some?
Go to www.gringosblazingsauces.com and order some.
Gringo's Blazing Sauces.
Bring the fire to your food. All right, so you have your guitar out.
I do, yeah.
I'll push this a little forward.
Sure, yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. No, it's all good.
Tell us the story about the guitar.
Oh, yeah, no. So this Fender, it's really a nice Fender. I freaking love this guitar. But the story is like, so I do boom op sometimes for productions like Fireside and One Department stuff. And I used to have a Yamaha guitar. It's the guitar that my wife bought me when I was like when we first like met and all that stuff. And I kept it forever. And on set we were playing with the director. When we had to go back to recording, I put it down to go like deal with the sound stuff. And when I came back, it was gone. Like someone walked by and like just grabbed it and left. And I was just like, frick. So, like, everybody really quickly found out that I didn't have my guitar anymore, because they were just like, where's the guitar? And I'm like, I have no idea where it is. And so the crew actually did, like, a GoFundMe and bought me this guitar.
Unreal.
As like a thing. And then, like, this guitar, like, by far compared to the Yamaha, is, like, 20 times better. But it's just, like...
You didn't tell your wife that.
Yeah,
No.
no, yeah, exactly.
She doesn't get to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, nope. It's like...
No,
it's
but
fun.
she probably understands. I mean, it is a Fender.
Yeah, it's a Fender versus the Yamaha. But yeah, the Yamaha sounded like great, but it was just like, but it was cool to me, like a whole crew to just sit there and be like, let's like,
Yeah, that's pretty
help this guy out. I was very
decent,
happy.
right?
Wow, that's a great story. I mean, that's a cool guitar story. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what are you going to play?
I can. Honestly, I'm gonna play probably. So next year, I'm planning on releasing a couple singles.
Sweet.
Coming out, and it's kind of a little more fun. But I like playing this one because it's a fun one. It's called "What Am I Supposed to Do," and this is the third single that's gonna be coming out next year.
Fantastic.
So I'll just play it here.
Please do.
People get it. So yeah. Can you hear that? That's fine.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, okay,
Great.
cool. I'm falling faster than the light. I go from morning straight to night as I start to lose my sight. I've forgotten where we've been, all the places we had sinned. Now I feel so cold within. What am I supposed to do with this broken heart? My soul's on fire, but I'm in the dark. Well, where's the light? I need a spark to find you. What am I supposed to do when I got no plans? You got my life in the palm of your hand. You're the dealer, I'm just a man. What can I do? Have you ever seen a man fall to his knees as he's crying, begging, please? Don't you leave, oh, don't you leave. Have you ever had your heart broken in two and you don't know just what to do? You throw your face in the air and say, what can I do? What am I supposed to do with this broken heart? My soul's on fire, but I'm in the dark. Where's the light? I need a spark to find you. What am I supposed to do when I got no plan? You got my life in the palm of your hand, and you're the dealer, I'm just a man. What can I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I say to get through to you? I have no space in this life without you. What do I do? What do I do? What do I say to get through to you? I have no space in this life without you. What am I supposed to do with this broken heart? My soul's on fire, but I'm in the dark. Where's the light? I need a spark to find you. What am I supposed to do when I got no plan? You got my life in the palm of your hand. You're the dealer, I'm just a man. What can I do? What am I supposed to do with this broken heart? My soul's on fire, but I'm in the dark. Where's the light? I need a spark to find you. What am I supposed to do when I got no plan? You got my life in the palm of your hand. You're the dealer, I'm just a man. What can I do? Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
It was really excellent.
Yep, like that a lot.
I did too. Really funky and
Oh yeah.
And,
heartfelt, and
Yep,
there was a lot of good feels on that one.
Yep, and just the whole sound.
Thank you. The full production is like bigger than this because this is like acoustic version in a sense, but the full production has like everything from like piano to drums to everything. It's just gonna be fun. I'm just so excited for it
Nice.
to come out. It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like it's like your baby, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
your
Yeah,
create-
it's
yeah.
the creative thing.
That's
That's
good.
fun.
So is that your outlet? Like you like to that's how you get everything out, is by creating music?
Now, yeah, like it again, like I said, when I first started playing music, it was more because of like heartbreaks, and it became like a habit of mine, where it was like if I wanted to write something, I just felt like in this world, like everyone, when you're going through hardship, for some reason, you always think that no one understands what you're going through, and that's how I grew up thinking. Like I just like, oh, it's only me who understands this. So I was like, how can I explain it so that everyone can understand what I'm going through in the simplest way possible? And that's when I just started writing music. So I was just like, oh, I'm going to start writing music. And my very first song I wrote was like First Time. The idea was, it's the song called First Time. And the idea was just explain what happened to me. And the way I wrote it was like, the idea of like asking questions like, have you ever been in this situation, in the first half of it? And then the second half is me explaining the situation I was just in after the questions. And that's, I think, what just like made my songwriting become the way I write now. Is I love lyrics, and it's very important to me that the lyrics always throw a message, always. And like, what am I supposed to do is literally like, I'm in a hard situation, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, you want me to move on? I don't know how to move on. Like, I'm in the dark, but I need, like, I'm in, like, that's why, like, the lyrics where it's just like, I feel in fire, but I'm in the dark. It's like when you're in the dark, like, I feel like I'm shooting light everywhere, trying to like figure things out, but I'm blind right now. I don't know what to do. And so lyrics to me is very important.
Now, I honestly think you should do two versions of this. One with all the backing, all the stuff that you want to put on it, and just one acoustic.
One acoustic. That's
You certainly can carry it on your own.
Yeah,
no
I-
doubt.
Thank
No
you.
doubt. No
Thank you.
doubt.
Like,
Not
I would-
that, like, you know.
I would be interested to hear the other version, but I like this one was.
It was
like,
excellent.
you need to do that
I'll send
for
you
sure.
I'll send you the other version. It's ready to go.
Nice.
You can listen.
Send it. Send
Well,
it.
we'll post that version up. If
Yeah,
you don't-
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're
there you
okay
go.
with it.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
yeah.
It's like-
Creative process, you know. But it's funny that because you said you like the Beatles. I mean, lyrics matter.
yeah.
They matter, right?
100%.
Like, you know, you listen
Yep.
to those the lyrics in any Beatles song or any song that you really enjoy. You know, obviously the sound is great,
Right.
but the actual pain or the actual love or
Yeah.
the actual emotion really comes out, you know, in
Yeah.
in lyrics, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and then that's why I don't stick with. That's why, like, when we were mentioned before, where like my music, at least my albums, feels like it, like the genre switches, where it goes from one to another to another. It's just because my whole entire life I've been chasing lyrics, not sound. So lyrics, to me, every genre, there are artists that have amazing lyrics. And it doesn't matter what genre it is. It's just about the songwriting. Like for example, Tim McGraw is a fantastic lyricist. Like I would listen to him, also listen to Brad Paisley constantly because of the lyrics that they write, and that's in country. And most people hate country, but I love country.
We love
Not,
Yeah,
not
see, that's
us.
like, I love country. I find that out of all genres, country has consistent stories, and that's why I listen to it. It's because it's constant people talking about real things that happen to them, and I feel like most genres kind of flew away from that. But even recently, like one of my favorite artists that's in the pop genre that is an amazing lyricist is Alec Benjamin. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but
I haven't. I'll have to look him up.
yeah, he's lyrics wise fantastic. And like one of his big songs that went was "Let Me Down Slowly," and the whole idea is if you're gonna break up with me slowly, not like right away, because I can't handle it. And it's just one of the best written like things. I was just like, this guy is just so good.
That's awesome, man.
It kind of leads to my next question. If you, dream collaboration with anybody, if you could pick anybody, doesn't matter like what genre, doesn't matter who. It's just
that is hard.
I know, that's why we ask.
We ask the hard questions here.
Yeah, no, I love it. I honestly though, it probably would be Alec Benjamin just because of the writing style. Just because he's just like I listen to him on repeat. Like he's just so good, and I feel like we can match writing. Like his writing style, the reason why he got known very well is because John Mayer heard one of his songs.
Okay.
And you know how John Mayer used to do the Instagram lives that he used to do at Sunday mornings or whatever?
Yep.
He blasted him on that, being like, this kid's an amazing songwriter, and then he like blew up after that.
Right.
Makes sense.
And but it was just like he made his mark as a writer, and that's what I like about it. So for me, it'd be probably him, but honestly, if not him, Bruno Mars, 100%. Without even question. I would love like it's just Bruno Mars.
I think he'd be a lot of fun to work with.
Oh yeah.
He's just so uber talented and has this crazy charisma, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he just seems like a down-to-earth, nice guy.
Yeah, 100%.
Normal dude. Like Anderson .Paak's a normal dude.
yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you could tell.
Yeah.
He just wanted to watch Tony Hawk in the half.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, I'll
chill.
chat with you,
Can
but
we
we're going to
can
watch
we-
Tony.
Can we interrupt for a photo?
It's awesome.
No, that is, and John Mayer, another pretty good songwriter
Yeah.
too, right?
Oh, John
You like
Mayer's
his stuff?
I love his stuff. I love John Mayer. Everything from new to old. I love when he tries new things. Like I was hearing the story of when he was creating New Light, and he was like sending it to like Shawn Mendes, being like, "Do you think this is good?" Like it's just so real because it's like this guy who's an uber talented guy, and he's just like, "I don't know if people are gonna like this. Like, do you like this?" And it's just like that's calming to me. It's like,
Exactly. Anything he puts out, people will buy or listen or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but you're a little apprehensive if you get away from what you're normally known for.
true,
Right?
true.
Yeah, good
That's
point.
very
You know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh my God, I mean, I know I'm good in this genre or in this vein of whatever, but I want to try this.
It's like, yeah, it's true.
Exactly.
But it's funny just because he's also like in a crazy. It's like Michael Jackson telling me that like if Michael Jackson was like, I'm writing this like ballad, really really hard ballad. I don't like. I'd be like, you're Michael Jackson. Like, it's just like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right?
Doesn't matter what you do, man.
It's,
Thriller, dude.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, man. Like it's just come on, no
And
one.
other stuff, actually. Off the Wall is a good album.
Yeah, Off the Wall is one of my favorite. Is my favorite album by him. But like Michael Jackson created a Halloween song that no one could top. Like
It's I watch it every Halloween.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you and I might be similar in age because I grew up with. I wanted to be Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah,
I
same.
used to break dance
Same.
and I would do everything to be Michael Jackson.
Yep.
My sisters will actually
Oh, I believe
attest.
it. I believe it.
So, but Thriller, I still try and figure out that dance, bro.
Oh, dude, I did it. I did a when I was young. I did like a what is it called when you just like what is that called when you go to a random place and you just start dancing out of nowhere? Flash mob, whatever.
Flash
it was?
mob,
Yeah, so we did a Thriller flash mob. So I learned to dance. I also learned,
Oh,
but
sick.
I grew up like I would put YouTube on and I'd pause and redo dances until I got it right. And so I did like Thriller dance, Beat It dance, Michael Jackson's like the Billie Jean when he was on stage and everything. Like,
Oh, that's a good one.
I would just watch him like the way you make me feel, like that dance in the music video where he's walking around and he's like does a tiptoe thing. It's so good. It's just like
He could dance. That's
He was a very talented man. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
he was for me. Michael Jackson is my goat. Like he's the goat to me.
He's up there for me too.
Yeah, he's so good.
Because like when Thriller came out, I was probably like, a couple of years old or
Right.
whatever, and
Right.
and I just remember like listening to Billie Jean, and my daughter's name is Tilly Jean.
Ah.
First time I shouted out the name, but that's all you're gonna get. But yeah, not on purpose. That's not why. It's just that it sort of kind of plays that way. But yeah, I don't know. It's just Michael Jackson as a kid. Like I think for a lot of kids, even when Free Willy came out, like that song.
Yeah. The
what is the Earth song or something?
No, it's not. No, it's not Earth song. It's will you be there? Something like it's. What's that? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. He's got it.
It's going to come out.
Oh my gosh, yeah, but I have to like go through.
It's not What About Us, but that's another song.
No, What About Us is so good.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. Because I like when I got thrown into the Michael Jackson world, it was like black and white. It was like the Bad album is when Michael Jackson, because I grew up like I was in '94. And Michael Jackson was like, I think that's when he started doing his own solo stuff. Was closer to around that time, I think, or earlier.
Well, he did Thriller in the '80s.
It was '80s.
Yeah, okay. So yes, he was doing his own stuff. So he was already far into his career, and I didn't listen to anything before that. And then I remember I got thrown into like I'm bad, come on. Just like I was like, who's this guy? And then started learning into it. But I fell in love with Michael Jackson because of his old stuff. It's like the Off the Wall album, the Jackson 5. Like for example, one of my favorite Jackson 5 tracks is Hotel. Heartbreak Hotel, which is to my knowledge, I've known not a lot of people know it, but it's one of the funkiest, freaking greatest song that the Jackson 5 ever put together. And I was like, why is this not a massive thing? Yeah. It's like
is it a play on Elvis's song or no?
I don't think so.
No, because he has Heartbreak Hotel.
Heartbreak Hotel.
Too.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's played off of that one. I think it's just like I feel like it was their way of trying to make a Halloween song before Thriller became a thing.
Okay.
Because it has like the ghosts and the screaming in the background, but it's
totally
so good.
Yeah. I don't know that one.
It's so good.
Nope.
Okay. That's the thing. I deep dive when I like an artist. I deep dive.
Can you just send us?
I can
stuff?
send you everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Seriously. No, because
you know what? It's funny that because everybody that comes on brings their own piece, right? And like. So it's like we pick up new artists, and it's just amazing.
It's so fantastic.
Because I'll absorb all the music.
Yeah,
right?
same here. It's just a sponge. It's just like I'm just building my musical palace. And taking other people's stuff and listening to it and going, oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah. Throwing that in there.
If you want one recent one, because I just showed it to Omar, my keyboardist, and he was like, I love you because I'm going to listen to forever. This is a girl from LA who is not well known, but she had one of the best songs. It's called Can I by Sanjana. Okay?
Can I by Sanjana?
Yeah, Sanjana. I kid you not, you're going to hear the guitar in the very beginning. And you're gonna be like, "What the frick?" And then her vocals come in, and it's just like what I like. And that's the thing we were talking about Spotify, where Spotify is good at some things and not. And for me, I've cultivated my Spotify now to only shoot music of people who are unknown.
Perfect.
That's all I want. Because for me, it's like I understand it's the big people, and I can go search them up. But I like hearing the upcoming artists. I like to hear what's happening because these are like. To say my competition, like it's like I'm trying to grow and they're like thing.
Yeah.
And the music I've been able to find for people who are not even big, like they have maybe like 50,000 followers or even less, and they're fantastic. I'm like, and that was one of them. One of them.
Finding that too, I did that with Rebecca Noel.
Yeah.
Because we talked to her, she was an amazing guest and stuff, and then I started, like you said, deep diving into different stuff, and it's like, oh my God. And I found this person and this, and then you kind of branch off into the, it's like, it's amazing for that. Absolutely amazing for that.
Yeah. I mean, for an artist, it's not like their bread and butter, but certainly for us, for listening, it's phenomenal.
Exactly.
What are you going to play? You want to play something else?
Yes.
You don't have to. You don't. I'm not putting you on the spot.
No,
it's in your hand. I gotta say, it's in your hand, man.
But yeah, no, I can. Well, I can. Part of the Levels track, I think one of my favorite songs is "Never Be Alone."
I like that song.
Just because the way I wrote it, like the acoustic version.
May I little Michael Jackson hint.
Yeah, of it. Yeah.
I have to say, like when I was listening to the album on the way here, I have like a half-hour drive, so I always put on the album before I come, and it's like. I felt a little MJ on there, you know.
It's like you when you write music, you pull out of like what they say, like everything that you do. Sometimes you think it's original, but you just pull out from people that you don't really realize. And like Michael Jackson,
it's your own.
Exactly.
But certainly, I felt
my own take of it.
Yeah.
But Michael Jackson definitely influenced a lot of the music that I did, just because like he was just the person I wanted to be when it came to music.
Course,
I wanted to produce like him. Yeah. And so that's the thing. And then Bruno Mars too, because Bruno Mars is close second, very close second to Michael Jackson in my mind. Like it's just,
he certainly got a lot of his from him. I think.
100%.
I think many artists have come, like Justin Timberlake. And many.
Well, Justin Timberlake is because of Michael Jackson. Like,
that's
like
right.
The whole song. What is it? The boom, what was it? Was it dance? Oh, dance with me.
Yeah.
"Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Dance With Me." Michael Jackson wrote it.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so Michael Jackson wrote that song and then gave
Makes
it
sense.
to Justin Timberlake, being like, this guy could do it. And
Did
then
you know that?
yeah, it was legit, and that's how like the whole, because I love the song. It's
Yeah,
just like,
of course.
that sounds like a Michael Jackson beat. Like
It's true. Timberland
so
knew what he
good.
was doing on that too, I guess.
yeah. So it's super sweet. But yeah, okay, yeah. So like, but this is "Never Be Alone," the acoustic version without J.W. Jones. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Either. Don't worry about where we are or where you've been. Don't worry about the money or how we'll pay the bills. It's just you and I tonight, by candlelight's delight. Dance with me till we see the morning light. And baby, let's fall in love tonight. You'll never be alone as long as I have you by my side. I will stare deeply in your eyes. You'll never be alone. Don't worry when you're up and I'm gone. I will find my way home every night. You're the star at night and you shine so bright. I wanna hold you till I see the sunrise. You'll never be alone. You'll never be alone. No, you'll never be. You're everything to me, my star, my hope, my fantasy. I look to you and I can't breathe without you next to me. You're the path I take when I need some security. You're everything I need. You're one in life that can make things right. You push past all the bad inside. If it's not for you, I couldn't see life through. You're the one that makes me feel brand new. And baby, let's fall in love tonight. You'll never be alone as long as I have you by my side. I will stare deeply in your eyes. You'll never be alone. Don't worry when you're up and I'm gone. I will find my way home every night. Oh, you're a star at night and you shine so bright. I wanna hold you till I see the sunrise. You'll never be alone. You'll never be alone. No, you'll never be. No, you'll never be. Yeah.
I could do this all. I could do this all day. I
Right?
could do this all day.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep him here and have him
Yeah.
play for us.
I'm down.
Yeah, fair enough. He'd be down.
Just
He's a-
$2.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
Beautiful guitar.
Yeah. I got a question.
Yeah.
The biggest thrill now, as a songwriter,
Mm-hmm.
would it be a bigger thrill to have somebody record your song, like just anybody, or to be playing a venue and hear the people singing the song back to you?
The second one.
Right.
Because that is a weird, because it's like for every artist, like that's I think the dream, kind of like to be in a stadium and hear like 20,000 people like list, like you don't have to play. Like you'll just play and then they're singing it. And I always watch videos like Queen when they're doing it and everyone's singing Bohemian Rhapsody and he's just standing there and everyone's doing it. I've heard Pink Sweat, which is a great R&B artist, and he was just crying on stage because people were doing it. And like I had a little glimpse of that at Live on Elgin once, because I had one of my songs, this is when I first started, because my genre right now versus when I started are completely different. Like I used to not produce myself, so it was to full be acoustic. So it'd be like singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And one of my songs was called For Today. That song got picked up by a movie. I got into the Oprah Winfrey Channel. They like released this movie, and it got into it, and I was like, yeah, like big break. It's like,
That's so cool.
that song I remember specifically because it's a sad song. It's like a song about like a divorce, and it depicts like both sides of the story. But I remember on Live on Elgin once I was singing it, and people, like normally in Live on Elgin, like people talk and people listen, and you could just hear that. As the song started, it went silent. And it threw me off because I was just like, I normally hear like little whispers in the back. It was just silent. And then halfway through, people started singing it. And for me, I was like, there's a little glimpse of it.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, that was surreal. And I was like, for me, I would love to do that in a way bigger stage, like 20,000 people just listening and singing the song back to you, that'd be my dream.
So fulfilling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That'll happen. And by the way, that's my favorite song of
That's
yours.
your favorite for today?
I listen to that and I'm like, wow.
Thank you.
Like, everything's great.
Yeah, no.
But that, I think, stands out as my favorite.
I liked it too. On the way here.
It's 100%, like, if people know me, it's that song.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a song that's like, this is the heartbreak song, specifically when I do it live. Like, I've had women, like, cry, come up to me, like, you made me tear. And it's just, like, it's fun. I'm happy that, because that's the whole point of the song.
Yeah.
It's to make you feel.
Yeah.
Hard,
Emotional.
like, yeah, exactly.
Have so many emotions. Good.
Yep.
Mad, happy.
Yeah.
Well, and music conveys all that, right? If you can get it right.
It's the best.
Yeah.
That's what I really like. That's what I mean. It's like just amazing. Like, you can feel different emotions on one album.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your album, you can feel different emotions.
Yeah. That was the whole point of the album, was to feel happy, to feel like, oh.
That's right. Levels.
Yeah, exactly.
Levels. Makes
Well,
sense.
that's life too, right? Because you're not always sad. You're not always happy.
Exactly.
It's everything in between.
Exactly.
It's a wild ride, man.
Yeah, man. Happy to still be here on that wild ride.
Yeah. We're here. Happy to have you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's ask it. Do it.
Every podcast we ask this question.
Okay.
80s or 90s?
Yeah.
80s or 90s?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I'm a 90s baby, but 80s all the way.
Nice.
Just because, like, I'm a 90s baby, so I know all the 90s music. Like I love them, but, like, it's what's before influenced what I listen now. And
Michael Jackson.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
Prince.
like everything, Prince to
yeah.
Earth, Wind and Fire,
Queen.
to
You mentioned Queen.
yeah.
So Earth, Wind, and
Journey.
Fire is awesome.
Dude, my favorite Earth, Wind and Fire song is Heart in the Stone. I think that's what it's called, Heart in the Stone. But it's just like, it's because the beginning of it is like how every song I wish mine started.
Right.
It's just this cool intro to, like, this super sick beat to, like, the song's great. It's great.
They're just so good.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I saw them. They opened for Van Halen.
No way.
I swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
What?
like in Ottawa. It was.
I remember that.
It was at the.
That's legit.
Right. And I was sitting there going, like, we're here for a Van Halen show.
Right.
We just happened upon having Earth, Wind, and Fire
Oh my
also,
gosh.
which to me, I've always loved Earth, Wind, and Fire. I think that's from my mom, and, like, she would listen to funky music. So Earth, Wind, and Fire, man.
Yeah.
And then Van Halen kind of came in after, which was okay.
And they ruined it all.
Well,
Teasing.
seeing Eddie Van Halen play a solo is pretty.
Yeah,
pretty,
I guess that'd be all right.
pretty legit. You know, like.
Well, that's
Who's your favorite '90s artist or '90s band?
90s band. Frick. It's like, well, like, okay, well, you can't say Michael Jackson's a 90s. He's a 90s, but he's not 90s. You're talking about, like, band that started in the 90s. Or you're talking about in general?
Sure. Or just
Whatever.
I mean, I don't.
kind of
I
became
wouldn't
popular
listen.
in
I
the
wouldn't
90s.
call MJ a '90s because he started in the '70s,
Right, yeah.
and he was alone in the '80s,
Yeah.
and then continued
And then
on.
continued on. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't call, this is okay. Frick.
stumped him.
I am stumped. Because it's just like, it's just so much.
What about any grunge guys? Do you like those bands at all?
I don't listen to much grunge, actually.
Did you like Nirvana? Did
I
you
like, I like, so the thing about it is, like, that was very much in the spectrum that I wasn't listening to growing
Yeah.
up. Like, I focused, when I grew up, my brother was more R&B. And so my
Montel
mom
Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. My mom listened to country. My dad was more into, like, the pop kind of idea. My brother was into R&B, but I was never introduced to grunge.
Okay.
Right? And I've learned, like, Nirvana is a fantastic band, like, absolutely fantastic band, but I don't, like, go after them as hard as I go after other genres.
Fair enough.
Just because, like, that's where I think, like, with my comfortable, like,
Your mom
listening.
liked country?
My mom loved country. My mom listened to country. That's how I got into country. My mom listened to country every day. There was
amazing.
nothing in that house but country. Like, it was
Old or like
old to new to everything. My mom
Outlaw?
was just, like everything. Like she's the reason why I listen to country. It was because she just, all the time, you'd wake up in the morning, country music is playing in the background.
who's
like,
your
all
favorite
the time.
country artist?
My favorite country artist by far is Brad Paisley.
Oh, really?
That's my favorite.
I like Paisley too.
Yeah.
I like you said, Tim McGraw. I love Tim McGraw.
Yeah,
I think
Tim McGraw.
I've seen him and I just loved his songwriting's amazing and he's got great passion. But for me, it's obviously the Outlaw guys. Like I like Waylon Jennings.
Well,
you know,
we could sit here all day and talk about that.
yeah.
But if you're going to go, like, in the same kind of time frame, I'm going to go with Gary Allen.
Gary Allen's great.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Allen's freaking great.
Gary
Yes,
Allen,
Gary
yeah.
Allen's great.
I
Yeah.
like that one.
He's
yeah.
my guy.
Nice. Yeah, for me, it's McGraw, but yeah, for that time.
So, yeah.
I know you like him and you hate him too, but
Oh,
yeah.
man. I love him. But when I saw him in concert years and years ago, I just thought he was arrogant.
Right.
Like, he was just kind of like, hey, you're here for me, when I just watched the Mavericks blow him off the stage. So it's like, yeah, dude, you know what?
Yeah.
You're riding a high right now, but you're not impressing me at all.
Although if you follow him on like social,
Well, he's changed a whole bunch.
He
now.
listen to a ton of people that do his songs. Like
Yeah.
He'll duet them.
No way.
Yeah, and he says
cool.
it's always weird to hear someone sing it better than I am. So maybe he has.
I think he's changed a whole bunch, but at that point he was just, I don't say starting out, but it was like with Indian Outlaw and all that stuff. And he was very much.
Right.
It's all about me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm good looking. I can sing.
Yeah,
and you're here
it's
to see me.
It's me. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And then the Mavericks at that time when the original band were phenomenal, and I'm like, sorry, Tim. That in my mind, they were better than you. Sorry, Tim.
Sorry, to go back to the '90s band, the band I would choose, and I think I'm choosing this one because I believe they started in the '90s, but I have to double check. But Jungle, I don't know if you know who they are. Yes, like.
Oh,
I
you
feel
know
like
who got me into Jungle was my brother-in-law.
Okay.
Recently, and Casio, he played.
Casio. Yeah.
Jungle is unreal.
It's amazing.
I know.
Amazing.
So funky and
it's so good. And
I love that you said that.
No, I love. Well, that's the thing is like because Jungle to me like Casio was the song that pulled me into it. But Casio, what pulled me into it was the music video.
Yeah.
Like I was watching this random I think I was looking for something else, and then it was like Casio, and I was like, what the heck is this? And then you hear like the boop. Boom, dun, boom. And it's just like you're like, oh, Casio, dun, dun,
that's so good. You'll love it.
So good.
Yeah.
And then I just went deep dive on them because that's what I like.
They're phenomenal. All their stuff.
Everything.
I know.
Everything.
I know. I absorbed it all.
Is great. So that would be a band I would say. Yeah.
I like Jungle.
Okay.
Jungle's great.
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah.
The '90s and '80s.
Yeah, it had to be sad.
80s song. Right?
Yeah.
Now that's a question that I've always liked to ask too: is what draws you in first? Is it like the intro, the beat, or are you waiting for lyrics?
So the beat keeps me waiting for the lyrics. Like, so for me, it's like you'll get me at the very intro because again, normal intros have no words in it unless it automatically starts with it. But for me, it's like I'm waiting to hear the first lines of the lyrics because the lyrics really keep me going. But if you can get a really good intro, like for example, like Casio, like the drums and the just like boop boop. You're just like, hey, you're instantly doing this. If I'm instantly doing this, you got me.
You're listening to the whole song. Yeah.
Because that's just sick. And then when the words come in, that's what like intensifies the song for me. Because it's just like, oh my gosh, like this is a really good song. But it has to be like that intro. Or if you start directly with lyrics and the lyrics instantly are amazing to me, then I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in for good. So like, yeah. That's why like Can I by Sanjana, like I told you, go check out. The guitar is what got me into it.
Okay.
The very first thing. It's just like,
it's like a Beatles song. Yesterday, I find that when I get caught right into that song right away.
Yep.
And even though I know the song, but even when the first time I heard it, it was like just the sort of, and then just yesterday.
Yeah.
And then just like you kind of.
You did it.
I know, but I why can't I? This is our show.
I didn't say you couldn't. You just said you
You
weren't
get all
going to.
mad. Well, I know
you
I
did.
can't. I can't not. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Is there a question that you wish that we asked you, and how would you have answered it?
Wow.
Oh wow, that's a frick. It's like it's a question I would like to be asked and how would I answer it.
I just pulled that one out.
That was very well done.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
Okay, probably would be like, what? Okay, where do you see yourself? Probably I don't know if it's your question, but where do you see yourself in the next like 2 years from now, from where the music is going? And my answer would have been like, well, my plan is like I'm planning on releasing singles and albums, and the hope, what we're planning on doing is throwing shows for the eastern side of Canada for now. So the idea would be is it's just like release the music, get it moving decently well, and then like kind of touring the eastern of Canada, going like Montreal, going to Toronto, going here, going to Kingston, like trying to hit as many venues as possible, in hopes that eventually we can get to the point where we can like tour all of Canada or even a little bit of America. So like it's just my that would be the next like 2-year plan is just kind of like getting these songs because the new songs that are coming out are a lot bigger. They're full band. They're a lot funkier. Like there's I have a lot of slow songs and a lot of stuff because that's all I was normally doing it. But now it's like a lot more dancey, a lot more fun, a lot more like this song "Because of You," the last track in the album. That's more of like the like a lot of more. So the whole next track is more upbeat music to feel like you're in a stadium.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you've probably grown as a songwriter and sort of found your own. Because your album's amazing. It's just that you know it's a different time in your life, and now you're getting into a more bright and bouncy time. And
but it's also the confidence to go there to do that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? I love the ballads. I always will. But the funky stuff is fun too.
Oh yeah, no, dude.
So-
Well, I grew up just doing ballads because I learned guitar, and I was just like, oh my gosh, all my life sucks, and like it just and like, but like it gets to the point where I remember Bruno Mars said it once, and that I think triggered me to change it. Was Bruno Mars was like when Bruno Mars first showed up, he had Just the Way You Are, he had Grenade, it's all just ballad, and he was like, I want to dance. Like I want music that makes him dance. And like so Locked Out of Heaven was one of the very first ones that he came out with that made people dance. And he was like, I want more music like this.
24 Karat.
24 Karat Magic album came with just full dancing. Like it was 8 tracks of pure party.
Oh, yeah.
And
So good.
and that's what I think as soon as he said that to me, I was like, I feel like I'm in the same position where it's like all my music is acoustic guitar, like For Today, Take a Little Time, all it's just ballads and slow songs and ballads. It's like I want to dance. So the first song that came out of the new album was Because of You, which was still like a I'm mad at you song, but you can dance to it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, my next album has to be dancey. So I have like all the tracks in the album, most like honestly like 7 out of like the 10 tracks are all like party. So let's have fun. So
That's great. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You've blown us away musically, obviously, with your playing, and you're an amazing guest. Like you're just so outgoing and easy to talk to, and
Thank you.
wonderful smart and all that.
Thank you.
Charmingly handsome. And,
Whoa.
well, it's
And a
not-
good dresser. And what else? What else do we have?
No, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming,
We
man.
agree.
No, not a problem.
We really appreciate your time and coming out. And obviously, we wanted you a few weeks ago. Something
it's
something
fine.
happened to our friend here,
It's all good. It's
and
all
then
good.
we're really grateful for you.
Well, thank you to having me because like it was a lot of fun. I love this. This was
Oh yeah, well, man, you can come back and play anytime. But we were thinking about doing we're talking about doing like renting a space and then having some artists come and just play.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
And you like
Yeah.
just sort of show up and do what you want.
Yeah, I'm down.
I think it'd be really cool.
Yep. I think that's
Maybe we'll
become
do
more
it
and
at the
more
Redbird.
of a thing.
The Redbird.
Redbird Lounge, yeah, because you're both wearing red.
I know, bro. You did. Why'd you do that,
Promo, man.
Why did I do that?
Yeah, exactly. First time I wore the shirt.
I bought the shirts.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Thank
I went
Thank
there.
you. Thank you for the shirt.
You're welcome. It's a nice little venue, the Redbird.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Super nice. I've been there. I haven't played there yet, but I've been there to watch people.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You'll get on there, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's the plan.
That'd be a great little venue to
Oh, yeah.
play because it's very intimate. You can just play.
Okay,
some-
yeah.
You'd
some of
have some sweaty dancing going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice.
Yeah, there
Which
you
is what
go.
you want now, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Almyr, thanks again, man.
Not a problem.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thanks.
Same.
Till next time, guys.
Take care, guys.